If you've ever wondered what a nutritionist and behavior specialist actually uses in her real life, this episode is going to be your backstage pass. I am pulling back the curtain on 7 products I rely on literally like every single day to stay energized, to stay balanced, to stay focused, and feeling like the healthiest version of myself. These aren't some trendy influencer picks. These are the actual tools that have stood the test of time in my own life, with my clients, in my community for years and years. So if you want to know what actually works and what's worth your money, what will help you feel strong, fueled, and free, then this is the episode you don't want to skip. Let's dive into the 7 things I refuse to live without. So are you ready to dig in? I am excited because I realize, as people ask me all the time, well, what are the things that you use? What do you do? I put down a list. I made a list of 7 things. I realized when I sat down and I'm like, okay, I literally cannot live without these 7 things in my life. Now, I'm not a big product person. I'm not a big supplement person at all. Some of these you'll see are going to be a little bit surprising because they're not exactly what you call supplements. But there are certain products that fill the gaps of what just simple food and exercise and water just can't do. And I am all about truly being healthy from the inside out. I talk about the 6 spinning plates: nutrition, exercise, sleep, managing our stress, hydration, and supplementation. And so all 6 of them matter. When I think about supplementation, that 6 plate, so many people are like, well, if I could just take a magic supplement, then I'm good. And it doesn't work like that. Think about it as a gap filler. It's like grout in a tile job. I wrote about this in my book, From Corset to Crown. And I wrote about this 6 plate of supplements like tile. The grout is necessary, but you can't start with that. It's literally a gap filler and it matters, but it comes at a certain time and place. And that's how I feel about supplementation. So the 7 products that I'm going to talk about, some of them might feel like a traditional supplement. Others are going to be like, I wouldn't think of that as a supplement. I think about these as supplemental to my foundational plates of nutrition, where it's focused on balancing my blood sugar; exercise, which is focused on strength training, especially as a woman; hydration, which is absolutely getting our water in, but also recognizing that something like an electrolyte is probably important for a lot of us, because when we sweat, we don't sweat out water. We sweat out electrolytes, basically, right? The stuff that's in electrolytes. Then we talk about sleep. If you're not sleeping, you cannot get healthy. You cannot lose weight. Like, none of the things can work. When we talk about managing stress, that is the X factor in all things health. And so those pieces of the puzzle have to be, like, that's the actual tile, right? The foundational stuff. But the grout, again, is important. And so when we think about supplements, I like to think about it as supplemental. And there are 7 things that I cannot live without. Some things you may never have heard of before, and some things you may have heard of and you didn't realize just how important they were. So the first is actually a company that makes something that there are some of these out there, but nothing in the way that I've ever seen it like this before. And the amount of research behind it is insane. But more importantly, what my experience has been insane. It's called Super Patch. And Super Patch is exactly that. It is literally a patch that you wear on your body. I have it on right now. I have them like all over my butt and my legs. And I literally never leave the house without it. And I don't go to bed without it. All right. Let me tell you the story about how I found it. So I had my own TV show for a while called Food Freedom. I was co-hosting it with Mark McDonald, celebrity nutritionist. And we had different sponsors. Well, we didn't just allow anybody to be our sponsor. We had to vet them in 100 different ways before they could be our sponsor. We were never going to have Coca-Cola as our sponsor. Right? So Super Patch came to us and they really wanted to be our sponsor. And so they sent me a set of patches. I get sent a lot of products all the time. And Mark, my co-host, was like, this is actually a really good one. You should check it out. So I saw the little pack that said REM, R-E-M, and it was sleep like never before or something like that. And I'm like, all right, I'll try this. And I looked at it and it was like, put this on before you go to sleep. That's literally all the research I did. I put it on. I will never forget. I was actually living in an Airbnb for a month, waiting for my house to get done. This was about 2 years ago. And I put the sleep patch on. And I didn't even think about it. I kind of forgot about it. I went to bed and I woke up remembering, I literally woke up and I'll never forget it, the bed I was in and where I was. And I said, oh my gosh, I just got a really good sleep. I thought that was awesome. Didn't think anything of it because I had forgotten about the patch. I got in the shower, and as I was cleaning myself, I saw the patch on my arm, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot I put this on. What is in this thing? And so I took it off, and I happened to have a call that day with the founder, the creator of Super Patch. His name is Jay. And I got on the phone. I'm like, what kind of voodoo magic do you have in your patch? I didn't see anything about ingredients. And he's like, that's the crazy thing. There are no ingredients on this. I've seen patches before and they do have ingredients. This is like Braille for your brain, and they have a million different kinds. They have one for focus, one for joy. My mother literally never lives without the joy one for pain, which is incredible. I had a neighbor who had terrible back pain. I'm like, can you put this on? He put it on. He said within less than 30 minutes, he was pain-free. The sleep one is what I wear every single day. There's one for energy. It is incredible. So Super Patch has a science that is patented. It's considered a device because it's a sticker. So it's not really a supplement, but it is absolutely I can't recommend it enough. So I'll put links to all the different things that I use in this episode so that you can see them. All right, so that's my first one. Never, ever, ever sleep without it. My second one is interesting because I actually don't sleep without this either. There are 3 things I do before I go to bed. 1 is put on my sleep patch. 2 is I put on my magnesium cream. I originally heard about magnesium cream years ago from my functional medical practitioner that I work with, who works with my clients. And I had heard about magnesium cream, magnesium lotion. I knew the power of magnesium and why it's so important. Muscle and nerve function, blood sugar regulation, mood, sleep. A huge piece of the puzzle is around magnesium. And in fact, I actually know a client who had insomnia for years, and it was this product that now to this day, she's sleeping through the night. Absolutely incredible. But of course, we got her other 5 spinning plates first. It even helps with gut health. Deficiency is actually most common in women. Okay. And if you have an ultra processed diet, like you're eating mostly ultra processed foods, your magnesium is as low as it could be. And it is impacting why you feel as crappy as you feel. We need to stop eating the ultra non-processed foods, but you need to supplement that deficiency. And so here's the thing about magnesium lotion. It absorbs, because it isn't about you are what you eat. It is you are what you absorb. And here's the crazy thing about magnesium. Magnesium in a capsule needs to have a buddy. And there are a lot of different buddies that go along with magnesium. Many of them are not serving you. And those that actually are not hazardous are likely not as much magnesium as you think it is, and you're absorbing even less. And so I have my sister-in-law who was prescribed magnesium with a buddy that didn't actually help her. She's like, I don't notice any difference. That is because a capsule has to have a buddy with it, and you are likely not absorbing it. And the buddies are often formulated to be as cheap as possible because you can't actually reap any benefits from magnesium. You can't have magnesium without this like buddy mineral next to it. So the capsules, I actually stay away from. I don't use them. And the amount of magnesium that they tell you is in the bottle is very, very subject. So I came across a company called Rooted In. It is a woman named Natalie Gerardo. She's been on our podcast before because when I first heard about magnesium lotion, my functional nutritional practitioner was like, there's a few out there. There's nothing I really love. They're all a little bit greasy and they're not great, but it's better than nothing. Well, then I stumbled upon Rooted In from Natalie, and I was literally blown away. First of all, it is so like, it's like silk, the lotion, and my skin is so dry every night. It's like self-care, but she also has essential oils in it that help with either sleep or pain or stress. There's 3 different kinds. I have that on I put it on every single night. It is the highest concentration of magnesium that you can have in a lotion. She has done so much work with a very particular team of scientists to be able to get the highest concentration of magnesium in a lotion. It is not greasy. It is self-care. It is a game changer. I actually include it with all of my clients because it is that important. So you need magnesium, stay away from the capsules, go with a lotion, and Rooted In is your very, very, very best bet. Okay. Now, the third thing that I do, and I use just about every single day, is my sauna. Now, I said that there might be a few things that actually surprise you. Well, sauna is one of them. And I say that as a supplement because it is supplemental, but it is the one type of supplement, if you will, that is so strong when it comes to data. Sauna, there was a huge Finnish study that went over decades about sauna use, and sauna use was absolutely instrumental in the reduced risk of cardiovascular health or cardiac disease, coronary heart disease, all-cause mortality. More sessions in the sauna per week correlate with longer longevity. There's not a lot of data out there other than sauna use and strength training. And then the third one that I'm actually going to share as my number 7 that contributes to longevity anymore. So saunas used to be really expensive. I have a Sunlighten sauna and I love Sunlighten. I'll put a link here for it. You can tell them I sent you, but they do a lot of education. So even if you just got on a call with them, they teach you a lot about what to look for in a sauna, even if you don't go with them. And then I have a lot of my clients that will find saunas on Amazon and things like that. I know it could be like a bucket list, wish list kind of a thing, but it is absolutely game changing for longevity and for overall health. So 100% sauna use matters. Now, it really does have to do with sweating more than anything else, but an infrared sauna has other benefits to it. So yes, you could go out and sweat, like do kettlebells in the middle of the summer, kettlebell swings, that will help you in terms of the sweating, but nothing better than sauna. Okay. It actually has been even shown to improve gut health, immune markers, like it goes on and on. All right. I got to move along. 4, a really good, really necessary, really important digestive enzyme. I use Zyve 7. Zyve 7 is like the game changer of all digestive enzymes. Now, I am biased in this, and I'm going to tell you straight out. I co-created Zyve 7. So is there a conflict of interest? Maybe. But in all reality, I wouldn't have done it if we didn't need it. So I was able to work alongside one of the top colorectal surgeons in the country, Dr. Anna Toker, along with celebrity nutritionist and blood sugar expert Mark McDonald, to be able to come up with a digestive enzyme with probiotic and prebiotic with a patented approach to being able to have literally everything you need in one. I haven't met yet anybody that has not been taking Zyve that hasn't said, this has changed everything. You are what you eat. You are what you absorb. And without your gut as healthy as possible to absorb the nutrients that you're eating, it's like a lost cause. But your gut is considered your second brain. Everything in your gut matters. The amount of your microbiome, the bacteria that's in your gut, the good bacteria, the bad bacteria, all of it. It is 100% something you have to focus on. Now, when we eat in a way that balances our blood sugar, when we serve our body more than we serve our soul, meaning we're balancing our blood sugar and eating clean, whole, unprocessed foods as much as possible, it absolutely supports our gut. However, there's a lot of things out there that are working against our gut. Every medication out there, you name it, It's likely working against your gut, as well as the toxins in our environment, any processed food, stress, all of it. You need a digestive enzyme. And I will go out on a limb and say you need Zyve 7. I would not have developed this if I didn't believe this was the very best option. Here's the thing. Supplements are the wild, wild west. As a person that has developed a supplement, I know this. Our Zyve 7 is NSF certified. That means Olympians can take it. Professional athletes can take it because it is clean and it is every single batch is tested. It is so much more money to do that, but it is a non-negotiable for us to ensure that we do not fall into the wild, wild west of supplementation. So Zyve 7, have to do it. Okay. The next one, again, this might be something that is surprising to you, but I learned about the benefits of elderberry about 2 years ago, and it is unreal. So elderberry is for immune support, okay? Especially for colds or flus. Again, health, foundation, all of that stuff when it comes to eating, working out, all of that is going to help boost your immune system. All the things that I talked about are going to help boost your immune system. The magnesium, the sauna, your gut health, all of those pieces. Super Patch even has a defense patch to be able to help with immunity. But elderberry is like, I take it every day. There's an elderberry syrup, and there is a company called All Things Elderberry. That is the wild, wild west. Supplements are the wild, wild west. And then there's a whole lot of people that do a whole lot of things with elderberry because it is such an incredible fruit. And All Things Elderberry, which is the only company I will go with, because I only go with people where I understand where it's sourced from and how it's manufactured. And so the people behind All Things Elderberry have an incredible operation with the highest quality elderberries, and it's so good. I am not a fan of gummies. There are not very many vitamins. There are no vitamins I will ever tell you to take a gummy with, but the elderberry ones from All Things Elderberry, when I spoke to their team and really understood how they make their gummies, I was like, okay, this is a no-brainer. My kids want to take the elderberry every day. They are both in college. They don't get sick. And let's be honest, they're not eating the best. They're not doing all the best things. They do not get sick. The minute I feel a cold coming on, I can take extra elderberry. Traveling, elderberry. I take the syrup, but when I'm traveling, I do the gummies and my kids do the gummies. Yes, 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 and yes. When I say that it reduces symptoms if you do get sick, but likely you don't even get sick. It's easy. It is simple. You can do it every single day, and it actually helps everybody. There are literally unless you're absolutely allergic, the evidence in pregnancy and breastfeeding and autoimmune issues, all of that is super limited. This is so, so good for you. Okay. If you follow me on Instagram, I go live every single morning and I do morning time with you. And one of the pieces of the morning time is time management. Understanding that every single day you actually work to manage time, so time doesn't manage you. And that is why I am obsessed with my planner pad system. For at least 30 years, I've been obsessed with time, and I have bought every single planner there is out there in the world. I have made my own planners. I have 2 decades worth of my own designs for planners. None of them ever left the prototype stage except this one. Once I actually really started using certain types of planners consistently and then started teaching them to my clients, I was able to figure out literally the holy grail of all time management systems. So my planner pad system, again, I developed this, so there is a bias with it, but it is 2 rip-off pads. That is what it is. One of them has to do with the month and your weeks, and the other one has to do with your days. And so the reason it is on a pad is because if you have a planner, like a spiral planner, and you love it, all of that, it's great. You have it on your desk, but you don't use it in everyday life. You don't take it with you. It's big, it's bulky. You're not taking it with you. but I want a planner to actually be used. So the month-long one, you literally rip it off. Bam, rip it off. And it's so beautiful in the way that it's designed. This is the 4th iteration of it. And you have the top of the month here, notes here, and then you can flip it over and you actually can plan out your weeks along with your monthly goals. I have a whole system that I teach when anybody gets our planner pad system to how to use this, but this is incredible. This is actually with me every single morning for morning time. But really, where the magic is in the daily planner pad system. And I practice what I preach. I have my monthly planner pad here with everything all filled out. But my daily planner, again, it's a ripoff. And it folds perfectly as an accordion where you can have today straight up in front of you. And then when I need to leave, when I need to go somewhere, bam, I actually put it in my back pocket. And I take it with me. So there is a whole science and a method to this particular planner pad system. And when you actually get the planner pad, you get the whole course for free, 10 minutes a day for 2 weeks. You could also go to one of back in January, I did a 4-part, no, I think it was maybe a 6-part series on time management. So you can actually go through step by step by step by step. Even if you don't use my planner pad system, it will be a system that will help you to truly manage time. People ask me all the time, how do you have 30 hours in a day? I don't, but I do run 4 businesses. I work out every single day. I walk 10,000 steps. I watch my shows. I have a good balance because I'm very intentional with my time. I use my planner pad system every single day. And so again, like supplemental, maybe. It's not the foundation, but it is absolutely going to keep me from like just losing my mind with all the things that I do as a woman, as an entrepreneur, just like you. So got to get yourself in a system and organized. And after more than 20 years of developing planner pad systems, this is the best. I will say it from the rooftops. Last one, number 7. This is the one that I say I do. The third thing I do every night before I go to bed, every single night, I put my super patch on for sleep. I have my magnesium lotion from Rooted In. And the third one is hormone replacement therapy. I have my vaginal estrogen and progesterone from Inner Balance. Innerbalance.com is absolutely incredible. We have had Dr. Sarah Dackert on our show multiple times. This woman is a hormonal genius. And HRT is 100% where a ton has changed very recently because the black box warning has finally come off hormone therapy for women. A study in 2022 stated that hormone therapy is the most effective treatment for women when it comes to not just menopausal symptoms, but prevention of bone loss, reducing fracture risk, heart disease. Now, there's different types of hormone replacement therapy. There's a synthetic, and then there's a bioidentical. We want the bioidentical, right? And if you go to innerbalance.com, you can learn a ton about this. But there was always this fear about this potential increase of breast cancer. And there was so much debunked about that. Dr. Peter Attia says that black box warning on hormone replacement therapies was the biggest misstep in health in our generation, that we missed an entire generation of women that could have proactively lived longer, been healthier, and have had way less challenges. And they didn't. And it is absolutely heartbreaking. But when we talk about bioidentical hormones, because here's what people need to understand, and I am not a medicine person, but I am about something that is, see, the supplements are the wild, wild west. This comes with a prescription. So there is oversight that doesn't exist when it comes to regular over-the-counter supplementation. Plus, this has been proven. And we also know not only is it help with cardiovascular disease, but the concept of breast cancer has actually been removed. It helps with dementia, menopause, literally everything. Now, this is obviously something you talk to your doctor about, but it is not about being afraid or something that you necessarily say, well, I don't want to have to do that forever. Like it's a high cholesterol medication or a high blood pressure medication or something like that. We know our hormones are going to reduce. We know we're going to lose estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. That is a fact. This is why I can't stand it when we diagnose menopause. This is a part of life. And we can do something to improve the quality of life of every single woman out there because of HRT. So I take Oestra, which is through innerbalance.com. Most of your OBGYNs are not hormonal specialists. They just aren't. You might think that they are, but they're not. So you want to be able to find a hormone specialist. If you are over the age of 60, you definitely want to see somebody in person because there's other types of issues that go along with hormone therapy. That could be some additional bleeding and things like that. I think it may be over 65, but you can check with your doctor about that. But go to innerbalance.com. That is a great place to be able to tap into at least next steps. So those are my 7 things every single day. Super Patch, magnesium cream from Rooted In, my sauna, my Zyve 7, which is my digestive enzyme, elderberry from All Things Elderberry, my plantar pad system, and hormone replacement therapy from Inner Balance. So go check those things out. I'll put them all under the list. I hope that this was helpful. Comment, subscribe, and share. We'll see you next time.